Is a button, is it too much V? Do I got too much V? Five steps to scaling your team. I'm going to share with you guys how to get over the frustration of having people on your team that don't share your vision, or maybe you've tried to grow, and then you realize you're working twice as much and you're making less money, or that you're always putting out fires. This is a real issue. I've been fortunate over the years to have been responsible for hiring over 500 people across my different companies. And, I really had to learn this the hard way, because the first two companies I started, Maritime Vacation at 17, NB Host at 19, they both failed. You know what the common denominator was? No employees, no people, nobody else on my team that was even there to support me in my vision. But when I started Spheric Technologies, the company that eventually grew 150% for 4 years, year over year, and eventually getting acquired, I started with 4 other people. Now, if you've ever started a business with partners, within the first month, one of them didn't work out, and then the other 3 ended up being more operational leaders, and one was a co-founder, then people that were like real partners. But it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you can get people on your team, shared vision, shared alignment, motivated, excited about where you're going, then that is how you scale a team. So I'm going to break it down into the 5S, or the 5 steps to scaling a team. The first one is story. Now, there's a whole bunch of sub kind of areas that you need to nail in the story, and really for each one of these different areas and steps, but I'm gonna give you one great example. The first one is, what wrong do you wanna right in your business as you build a company? When you start it off, you need to ask yourself, what wrong do I wanna right in the world? For me, when I started with Clarity, I just thought it was wrong that there's, 10 times, 100 times more tech entrepreneurs around the world starting software companies that didn't have access and connection to the smartest minds in Silicon Valley that was there, that I had access to, that I've learned from. I believe that success has a million fathers, and I wanted to create a way for them to connect there. That was the wrong that I wanted to right. And I think that it's important for you to ask yourself in your business, maybe you don't have this, or maybe you know it and you haven't told it lately, but it starts with story. Figure out that story, what wrong do you want to right, and share it with your team. The second S in the framework is sourcing. And again, there's a bunch of different ways to source great talent, but one of my favorite strategies that I want to share with you guys is deputize. You know people in your life that are connected, that go to events, that talk to a lot of people. Maybe it's a salesperson, another entrepreneur. You need to deputize them. Actually be like, you're anointed as the person to discover great talent and bring them into my world. So I've known many times when I've been out in the world and I've come across those incredible employees, the valet guy, the waitress at the restaurant, the person that works at the bank teller. And if I had a position in my company, I would hire them on the spot because they just had the right attitude, the right skill set, the right whatever it was. But what I want you to do is do the same thing amongst your friends and say, look, if you ever find somebody that in this industry, it's a technical person or a marketing person or an operational person, I want you to give them permission to send you an email with their name and the company, and then it's your job to go find them. So deputize is the strategy for sourcing. 3 is selecting. How do you select the right person? Again, multiple strategies. My favorite one is really based on a lesson I learned from Seth Godin. I met with him once when I was starting off Clarity, and he really gave me some incredible advice. But one of the things that he shared was, I can't work with you till I work with you. That's just a rule that he's had in his life, and I've adopted in my business, that unless I've done a project with you, worked with you, tested, simulated the actual working environment, then I can't work with you. So that strategy is test, right? And every position that I hire, there's always a simple up to 10-hour test. I pay up to $500 for that person, because I respect their time and the value they're going to create. But it's the same test. Every person takes the same one, and that way I have a very clear benchmark to baseline them versus previous people have taken the test, or maybe the cohort of people that they're in the running for that position. So make sure that you test. That is one of the best strategies for selecting top talent to scale your team. The 4th area is selling, okay? Now, most people think that it takes money to hire great talent, and I will share with you that it is the 4th most important thing that a person needs to understand. It really comes down to selling, right? So first is the fit. Is this the best fit for their career? 2 is freedom. Do they have the opportunity to be free in their decisions? You're gonna delegate. You're gonna give them the authority, and you're gonna give them the responsibility and resources that they need to be successful. Third is family. Make sure you incorporate the family, because so many times when entrepreneurs are hiring, they don't think about the partner, the wife, the girlfriend, that other significant person in their life that really are going to be involved in making this decision. And if you don't incorporate them into your recruiting process, it's going to be really hard to get them on board. And then the fourth is fortune, right? Which is really the money component of the business, compensation structure. Whatever it is not the most important. It is the fourth, and last is fun. You got to make sure your work environment is going to be a blast to work with, or these top people, these A players, they don't need to work with you. They have other options. They can do their own business. They could keep doing what they're doing. So it's your job to make sure it's fun, and all these other areas, including the fortune, is key for selling somebody on joining your team. The last one is structure. Okay, so how do you manage A players? And there's a bunch of different strategies that I share, but I really want to leave you with this one, because I think it's really important when you think about how do people get alignment in their actions. Every day they get up and they say, I could work on 100 things, but what would you want them to prioritize? What would you want them to focus on based on these 100 things and your leadership? And to me, it's done through a quarterly theme. In your business, every quarter you should be doing a planning session. And that planning session should look in the previous quarter and successes and lessons learned, and also start looking for the next 90 days in your business. But part of that planning at the end, once you've kind of figured out the strategies, it's setting a theme so that everybody else in your company, think about this. If you could get, if you have 10 people, 20 people, 100 people in your business, and they're pulling on different pieces of rope, different priorities, but they're all pulling in a different direction, the business is going to slowly move and grow forward. But if you can get them all aligned and you've got 100 people pulling that same direction, the change will be astronomical. So you need to make sure you give them a theme for the quarter so that they could, one of my good buddies, his theme for this quarter is stress the NPS, the Net Promoter Score. It's a growth number that you can test. You can go Google it to find out more about the NPS score. But stress the NPS is his theme for his team to focus on all their activities to improve the NPS score. I think that is probably the most powerful when it comes to the structure of how do you manage and really lead A players. So my question to you, what I want to hear from you guys below in the comments is, what have you done to build your team? From a culture point of view, from a leadership point of view, from even maybe a compensation and recognition or rewards level, what have you been inspired to create inside of your business? Leave me a comment below. And as per usual, I want to challenge you to live a bigger life and a bigger business, and I'll see you next Monday. If you want to see me wear other bright colored shirts, be sure to subscribe to this channel, and I'd also encourage you to join my newsletter, where I send you invites to exclusive events, free training videos, and community contests. And if you want to get going with some more videos, check out these couple I've got queued up for you. I'll see you next week.